Welcome Capricorn, thank you for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and share if you enjoy the reading. Also, if you are a new viewer, I hope you enjoy it. It's a general reading, so you can take what works for you out of here. It could also apply to somebody that you are close to at this time. So you may see aspects of this reflected in another at this time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the readings. The more you like, then the more the readings are circulated on YouTube. If you have strong influences in your birth chart associated with another sign, then you can cross-watch to my other videos and get more insight there for yourself and for someone else that this may apply to as well. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, and so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear for you at this time. So in the first house, we have air element communicating. The first house has everything to do with yourself. This is your appearance, your vitality, your personality, your observable characteristics, what you're projecting outward to others. So if you have a very strong ascendant in a particular sign, then that will also be coloring your what you're projecting to other people up until the age of about 40 or so, and then your sun sign really is very well established and should be shining through by then. So it's what other people will see in you when they see you, what they see, what they perceive, how you come across, and so on. This house is also to do with your actual self-oriented interests. So whatever you're doing on a daily basis, how you're making your way through the world, your personal independence, and so on. So with the air element communicating coming in, this is the manifestation card. So you may be wanting to manifest certain things, or you may be physically manifesting things now. Maybe you've got the recipe right, or you're just you're wanting to bring more things into your life. So with manifestation, it really is about positive thoughts and then positive words. The two have to go together. So even when you're alone and you're sitting quietly by yourself, your positive thoughts reverberate outwards. And then when you transfer that into your actual words, or even into the written word, it becomes more powerful yet again. So it's a habit that you have to get into. It's something that you have to train yourself to do. But once you're in the flow, then really you can create miracles in your life just by what you're thinking. So with this card coming up, all communication is going to be very, very important at this time. So your words, what you write, what you say to others, any kind of written document is going to be important. This is very much a mental influence as well. So really it's what you're projecting outwards, your thoughts and your what you're sending out into the universe as well. So I think it's also important that you write down what it is you want, even if it's your own personal goals or if it's something to do with your career. Perhaps you need to make your wants and needs known now. So putting it down in words, write it down, and so that you're getting clear about what you want and that others also know. You may also be hearing news or receiving news or hearing messages, or just hearing gossip even, sort of information coming from other sources. So that may be coming in with this because it's the airwaves coming in. This card is also about thinking things through. So you may be needing to do something, or you're on a particular type of journey at this time. So you need to think things through. You need to mull things over in your mind, formulate your intentions and your actions. And this is where the positive thoughts and words come in as well. What you say to yourself, what you say to others, what you think is going to be very important. But you may just need to be turning things over in your mind, looking at things from all different angles before you actually move forward on a particular issue. Some detachment is required here as well. And that is to take the emotion out of a particular decision, if that is what you're wanting to do. Or it could be the other way. Perhaps you are too detached at this time and you need to actually put down in words exactly how you feel. So it could be one of those ways coming out for you. You could also be wanting to bring in a youthful outlook in all that you do, a youthful attitude, a youthful outlook, a youthful perception. Perhaps that these are the changes that you need to bring. You need to expand how you think. Perhaps old ways are no longer suiting you, and you need to sort of expand the way you think and the way you talk, your outlook, and the way you're projecting yourself to others as well. It could also be that you're wanting to look younger, or that you're concerned that you're not, you need to improve your appearance in some way. That can also come in with this card. With the air element as well, technology and science comes in some way. So you may be upgrading something that you're working on, or using technology in some way, or perhaps you're just going for a makeover and there's technology involved, laser therapy or something like that. Or science, perhaps this is something that you want to bring into your life at this time. Then following on from this, actually into the second house, we have solar eclipse revolution. So I do feel how you think and how you project yourself is going to have a knock-on effect right throughout your chart this month. It does anyway, but it's particularly highlighted at this time. There are necessary changes coming in for you, and that may be you initiating the changes, or the changes are coming to you and you're now being asked to change your outlook, or how you're making your way through the world. So the second house is the house of your income. This is your money that's coming in, however it comes to you. So it's also the house of self-worth, your personal self-worth, and your value systems, what you value in yourself, what you value in others, and your possessions. All forms of ownership come in with this house as well. And all the three are kind of interrelated as well. So with the solar eclipse revolution coming in, this is really is going to be some kind of it's some kind of quick change, a quick change, or a complete rearrangement of how things have been going for you at this time. So it could play out in your self-worth system, or your value system, or your money coming in, or all three are going to be affected. But really, all of them are going to get an overhaul of some kind. An overhaul is on the cards here. So old patterns fall away and new habits or new thought patterns come in. So it's a new perspective. Something falls away to make way for something new. So a new outlook. So you really are clearing the decks, or it will be changed for you. So there could be some kind of upheaval on the cards, or some kind of necessary change coming in. It could be very fast, it could be really rapid, and it causes a complete and utter rearrangement of everything that's going on around you in this house at the moment. You could also be wanting to, or needing to change or fix something to create much better. So whether this is your income, perhaps where you're putting your income, how you're utilizing that income at this time. To change or fix something that you've been doing for a long time and has been familiar, needs to change, and you need to bring in something new. It's also going to affect your life path, or it's to do with your life path in some way. And this could also be a rapid decision, or a decision that you are aware of needs to be made, but the rapidity of it, the speed with which you need to make that decision is going to come up on you very fast. Or it could be really you making a very quick and sudden decision at this time. Because this is the second house and it's one of your money houses, the 8th house on the other side is also a money house. That also has a destiny card in it, a fate card in it. And life purpose is also indicated there, massive changes also indicated there, doors opening and so on. So I feel that with how you're thinking and how you're actually manifesting things right now is going to have a knock-on effect in the second house and the 8th house, and those are your two money houses, and that affects how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your value systems, what you own, and so on. So there really is a deep connection there with all of these houses. Following on from that, in the 3rd house, we have Black Moon Lilith mystery. So your 3rd house is how you communicate in all forms, whether this is written, verbal, body language, your form of expression, how you express yourself with others. And this can be on a personal forum, or it can be on a public, or just with people in general. This can be with, as I say, a wider forum, or it could be with particular people like certain family members. So this can be cousins, siblings, aunts, uncles, even neighbors may come in on this. This house also covers documents and contracts of all kinds because it's written, right? So with Black Moon Lilith mystery coming in, I do feel that this also may be following on from these other things that you're implementing in the first and the second house. So possibly something that you are implementing, some change that you're bringing in, or manifestation that you're bringing in, is going to create some kind of situation. Either something is going to react badly to it, or it's going to create some kind of reaction, or it's going to create waves in some way, or undercurrents. This is very much an undercurrents card. Things that are moving under the surface, things that are going on. But you could initiate it through the changes that you're making, or the powerful manifestation which you're now bringing in, the way you think, the way you're bringing in various positive changes and thoughts into your life. It's going to have a knock-on effect, because ultimately how you express yourself comes up from that. So it could be something you say or something you do, or it could come about through some rapid change that you're undergoing, and this could come in for you. But it really is, there could be a blowback of some kind. But this card is, whatever it is that's coming out of this, this card is about not giving in, all right? So standing firm in what you believe to be right. So you could also be waiting for something to happen. So there's a bit of mystery involved there. So you could be waiting for something to happen, or not all facts are known at this time, or not things are revealed at this time. So it's a bit of a waiting game. There could be undercurrents going on there. There may be a female influence in there, or it could be you bringing in, these changes and whatnot, and it's creating a reaction. But this card can also be about the darker feminine. So this is, it can also bring in darker aspects of expression, which would be, which emanates from fear and anger. There could be a bitchiness, there could be rebellion even going on, or bitterness of some kind, or feelings of being slighted. Even vengeful thoughts could come in. And this could be in yourself, or it could be that you're seeing this in others around you at this time as a result of what is going on, or there could be just things under the surface that need attention. Then in your fourth house, your house of home, you have Leo, I will. So this is a lovely card actually to be having. Your fourth house is your house of home. So what's going on in your home, your actual physical home, the bricks and mortar, or where you're currently residing. It can also be, the atmosphere in your home, or the people in your home, or just your home life in general. It's also your relationship to your family history, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, and your foundation and your roots, where you come from. So this is a very warm and creative influence coming in for you in this particular house. So this is bringing in honor, strength, creativity. Children are highlighted in some way here. It could also be bringing in originality. You're perhaps accessing that in yourself, or you're bringing that into your home in some way. You could be the center of attention at this time in your home. Perhaps you're having lots of parties or fun events or get-togethers at your home, and therefore you are the center of attention. But it's all about that. It's a very warm, very outgoing influence, but it's also about personality. It's about standing up and being counted. Perhaps you want to bring in all of these aspects into your home life, or in connection with your family life, as I've said, your ancestry and so on. But it's about the lavish spending could also come in with this, because that is a Leo thing, love, luxury. So just be aware of that at this time. You may want to bring some necessary things into your home, just to lighten the energies, to bring a bit of fun and creativity in. Nothing wrong with that. Just don't go overboard. But there's fun is highlighted here. Parties, get-togethers, a passion even. Perhaps there's somebody in your life which is bringing this element in for you. But there's a lot of creativity, and as I said, children may also be highlighted at this time. Then in your fifth house, you have Aries, I am. Fifth house is your house of, it's the house of children, your house of, so this could be your children or children you're associated with at this time. It's also the house of creativity, your creativity, or it could be that you're seeing this in your children. It's the house of love affairs, and it's the house of recreational activities, all kinds of activities, whether it's sports or fun activities. It also has a speculative aspect to it, which could be gambling or stock market or something like that. So this is an Aries card. It is an action card coming in for you. So this could be to do with you or with your children, or you in conjunction with your children. But there's a stirring into action here. You're going to feel fired up in some way. You may be asked to take a leadership role in some way as well. This could be with a love affair. You could be going after that person that you want, seeing what you want, or perhaps you're just taking the lead in this relationship now, or you're taking the lead in conjunction with your children, or some kind of activity that you're doing. It could be sports. Sports are highlighted with this card. There's challenges involved, there's competition. This is about having a grander vision, and sort of locking in on what it is that you want to do. It brings energy. It also is about disciplined action. That's the best way, actually, the best way of harnessing this energy. It's a disciplined action, measured action. So having a plan, putting things in place, and actually following your goals. This is not random, rash action, impulsive action. It needs to be structured, so to get the best out of it. But there's quick movement. There's a push forward here. It could also be passion coming in for you, and that could be a passion for an activity that you want to do, a sport activity or a recreational activity, or passion in your relationship with your love affair, or it could be you bringing passion into a creative endeavor which you're involved in. It is a no-nonsense card, so there will be, as I said, guidelines and a pathway which you would like to follow in this house. Then in the 6th house, we have Pluto transformation. This is the 6th house is your house of work, your workplace, your work colleagues, your work projects. It's also the house of your particular mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. It's also the house of your lifestyle, your health and your diet, and it's the house of pets as well. So with this card coming in, exactly what it says, transformation is going on in here. So it could be a work situation that is changing, or perhaps you're wanting to change your lifestyle, your diet, and so on. There could also be something old to new. So something old falls away to make way for the new. This is coming up a few times in your chart this month. So it's definitely a theme. Something falls away to be replaced by something better. There could be a surprise element to this as well, something you did not expect. There's also regeneration involved in this. Pluto does bring in the regenerative quality. So whether this is from a health and diet point of view, or it could be from something that you used to work on, or something that you used to do, which has been lying fallow, or just wasn't ever used properly, or fell away in some way. Something could come back to you from that. Something which is, which is good, coming back to you to be revived in some way. Or something comes out of an older idea, or an inactive situation. This card can also bring up hidden feelings. So things that you haven't acknowledged, or things that you haven't expressed in some way, could be coming up now. Secrets can also come out. So something comes to light. Something comes from the depths. It was under the surface, and now it sort of pops out. There could be a bit of ego going on, some control issues going on in this house as well. You may also experience disappointment, or seeing something for what it is. So something from the past that you always thought was a particular way, you now see it for exactly what it is. So there could be disappointment, or some kind of reaction that you're having to that. It's kind of you're seeing it exactly as it is now, and not how you viewed it before. As I said, yeah, this card it brings in changes. These are transformative changes. They're necessary changes. And it could be, as I said, old to new, or a regeneration of something. As I said, it could also apply to your health and diet. Something that perhaps wasn't known or hidden is now coming out. This card can also apply to all things to do with the sex organs, procreation, anything to do with that. Also the lower colon may be affected in some way. So there may be some health issues which you need to tackle, and that leads to lifestyle changes. Then in the 7th house, we have Jupiter abundance. Your 7th house is your house of relationships, close personal relationships, one-on-one. So this is you with a love partner, or with a business partner, or somebody else that you're close to at this time. So it's a lovely card to be having, and it's a card of abundance. So in this particular house, something is coming in for you. It could very well be a love affair that's coming. You've taken action on it, and now it's bringing in whatever you require, really, all the joyful, happy, loving feelings, just good feelings, really good vibes coming in. Or it could be, as I said, to do with a business partnership. It could be bringing in windfalls. But it's happiness, it's joy, it's strength coming in for you. It may just be strength that you need in your relationship. Perhaps you've had a few tough times and now you're getting some relief coming in for you. So it's a change of luck. This is a yes card if you're needing yes for something. It's also the card of expansion. So you may be expanding within your relationship in some way. And it brings in through the abundance, you may be expanding, or through the expansion, it brings in abundance in some way. And that can be many things. It can be just general feelings of contentment and happiness. It could be bringing windfalls. It could be bringing in good luck or a change of luck. Just a lucky break of some kind of opportunity comes to you. So all of these things are abundance. It could just be harmony and happiness in your love relationship. And just feelings of contentment and happiness. So you could also be just expanding to the next level in some way in this relationship. You could also receive a gift, or you could receive divine help in some way. You could also be experiencing gratitude, or you may be feeling feeling very generous at this time. It could also bring in purpose. So perhaps in this relationship, you're now finding purpose in some way. That's a form of abundance. So obstacles will be lifted now. You'll be able to see clearer on your path. And just be aware of a little bit of either overconfidence or a bit of arrogance there, or overindulgence, because Jupiter can take you the other way as well. So too much, things are just over the top. So just be aware of keeping a happy balance at this time. Then in the 8th house, as I said, this carries on from your 2nd house. It's a money house. The 8th house is the house of big finance. So this is the accounting, banking, insurance, investments, taxes, assets of all kinds, trusts, inheritances, and legacies of all kinds. So all of that comes into the 8th house. It's also the house of old things falling away and new things beginning. So endings and beginnings, very powerful house for that. And North Node is very much about that. And so was the solar eclipse on your 2nd house. So there's really some kind of major shift going on, endings and beginnings, or rearrangement, or new coming from the old. There's a big theme of that this month. This house also covers the merging of you with another. So whether this is a love partnership or whether it's a business partnership, it's the merging of your emotional and physical resources. So this can be banking, your investments, your insurances, all of that comes into this house. It's also the merging of your actual emotional side, the two of you joining together in some way into a committed relationship. It's also the deeper sexual connection that you have. So, so all of this comes into this house. So the North Node and the life's purpose, there really is a purposeful element to this card. It's also about it's about finding your way, but it's also about the path to what you want opening up now. So there's sudden developments, destiny comes in. So you will have been through life lessons in some way, and what you've picked up and what you've learned from that, somehow you get guided, you get moved to where you need to be, exactly where you need to be for your highest good. So this is about right place, right time. That's what this card brings in. Your path is cleared. Opportunities fall in your lap, literally, in some way. You'll also receive support from your soul family. So these can be people, friends, contacts, family members, whoever, or your life partner or your business partner. But these are people that you have like-minded ways with. You feel very comfortable with them. You feel like you've known them, all your life, even though you may have only met. And this can be karmic, as I said, it goes back to other lifetimes, or it could just be a very strong bond that you have with these people in this lifetime. And they're going to support you in some way. They're going to help you. They're going to harness put you or be with you in some way to lift you into the correct position. So it really is a very positive, about positive karma. That's what this card is about. Your life path, as I said, opens up. This is about greater fulfillment in all of those aspects of the 8th house. It's a pot of gold card as well, in whatever way that is appropriate for you. Then we have yet another destiny card, another beautiful card coming in for you. This is part of fortune increase. So abundance is very strong, but there are changes that require to be made. This is throughout your chart at this time. So with the 9th house, your 9th house is quite a broad house, but it's basically you meeting the world or the world meeting you in some way. So this is international travel. It's also adventure and exploration, however that plays out for you. It's a freedom house. It's about finding those new plateaus. It's also about your connections with others that are foreign, or foreign cultures, or foreign belief systems, or just mixing with people that are different from yourself. They're from a different country. This could be online import and export coming in, or just you meeting the world in some way. It's also about further education and study. So this is university education and also adult education. It can bring in deeper understandings to do with philosophy, religion, belief systems. So you could be studying those things, or you're just exploring more to do with that. It's also the search for meaning as well. It's about faith. It's about wisdom. This also on a practical level goes into teaching. Teaching falls under this house. Publishing, promotional work of all kinds. So whether this is public relations or just promotional work that you're involved in. It's also the higher courts and the law. The law comes in on this house. And your relationship to your in-laws all comes in here. So with part of fortune increase, this generally brings in an increase in the factors in this house. So whatever house it comes in. This is an area that's kind of been overlooked in you. So this could be talents and abilities that you've had all along, and they're now coming to the fore. They're now being stirred into action. So a karmic trigger has occurred, and they're now being stirred into action in some way. So it's all of that coming to the surface, and it's the harnessing of those talents and abilities. So it's something that you kind of knew about but never actioned, or you've suddenly just realized you have an ability with something, or a talent for something. And it emerges, and you need to harness it. You need to put it to work in your life or study further on it. It's about that. And this house is very much about study as well. So you could also be receiving gifts and rewards of some kind, or recognition of some kind coming in for you with this. A lucky break. Fate is indicated here. You're moving ahead in some way in this house. You could also be involved in promotional work or publishing of some kind, or public relations, and it's going to go very well for you. Learning and exams, anything to do that is very much highlighted. You're going to be able to do quite well in that. This is going to bring in that sort of that ability to harness those energies and actually apply yourself during this period of learning and exams and study and so on. This card can bring in great success in relation to any one of those areas. So as I said, it's also the rising up of the talents and abilities that you perhaps were not conscious, or you just didn't use them in any particular form. But it's also a kind of gift of freedom as well in some way. But moving ahead, very much indicated with this card. Then another beautiful card coming in for you. When I say beautiful, it can be beautiful in the end. Initially, it may be a bit of an upheaval. This is the Uranus card. It's sitting in your 10th house this time around. Your 10th house is the house of career, which is very much your house. So this is the house of career, fame, fortune, your reputation, your public status, which could be changing at this time. So if something is changing in you, perhaps you're changing your work status, or your relationship status is changing in some way that is affecting this house. So it's also the house of authority figures in some way. That could be somebody in your family, or a parent, or it could be somebody that you work with, or somebody that you look up to in some way. So with this house, it's kind of with this card coming in, there's going to be an awakening or a jolt of some kind. And So once the awakening or that jolt has happened, it could be a bit of a shock and upheaval initially, and then after that, you start to formulate from there. You start to harness the energies that it's bringing in for you. But it could be a bit of a jolt, or just it could bring in a sudden realization for you. So this is like a lightning strike, right? So sudden realization, or a brilliant idea, or an incredible intuition comes to you now, where you just suddenly see things. Or it could be some invention that you are perceiving at this time. But there's revolution in here, there are changes in here. There could be a launch for freedom, or freedom from what you have been before. Perhaps you're changing your job and you've now got an incredible amount more freedom that you had before, or freedom of thought, or freedom to study. There's some kind of, liberation going on with this card. It's also about the science. It's about internet. It's about technology, and this is cutting edge technology. It could also be an upgrade that you're going through, or a new system which you're having to approach in some way. But all the aspects this covers is research, physics, electromagnetism, robotics comes in here, space travel, anything to do with the universe and outer space, science fiction. All of that comes in on this card. It's a very, very powerful card. It can manifest in a great many ways. Even astrology comes in under this. But there could also be an alternative element to this. So something unusual, something unconventional, or as I said, alternative. It could even be alternative energies that you're dealing with. But it's very much cutting edge. As I said, it could bring a shock, or an unexpected turn of events could come about. But through that, you will find your way, and it will lead you in a different direction possibly. But with everything else that's going on in your chart this month, and especially with various aspects, I feel that you will be led in the right direction. You just need to apply yourself at this time, and just ride that change, ride that upheaval to the best of your ability. Then in the 11th house, which does kind of carry on from this as well, the 11th house is about your friendships. It's also about your contacts that you make, your networks, your the groups that you're involved in, whether this is societies, associations, clubs, could be sporting even. But it's also about mixing with others in a group situation. So it could also be you joining a group of companies or something like that. It's also about social reform, global consciousness, and trends, following trends in society and in the greater world. So it's also about your role in these situations. And it's also about your own personal ideals and your own hobbies and interests and the visions you have for yourself and for the world. So with Libra I balance coming in, this is bringing in a balance for you, and you do that by bringing in charm. You bring in beauty in whatever way works for you, refinement. So those are the higher qualities of this card. So it's also about negotiation. It's about finding balance. It's about pooling resources, because there's a partnership element to this card. So a partnership or some kind of joining forces with another is very important at this time, and may serve you very well in this house. So it could be a friend, or it could be somebody that you're involved with in a group. But pooling your resources, putting things together, partnering up is highly indicated. If that's not coming in for you, then this is about you finding balance between your activities in these places, or finding balance in your friendship or friendships, and exuding the very best refined qualities that you have, or finding refined qualities in others, searching for that in others, finding the beauty in your group, your societies, or wherever you're mixing with others, and in your friendships, or bringing those elements in to your life. You may be also required to make a decision at this time in any one of these areas. The middle path is going to be the best path with this card coming in. So it's about negotiation. It's about working in conjunction with others, finding the best path for all concerned, following the rules, fairness, balancing of the scales. There may be legal issues involved here somewhere, but generally this is a positive aspect coming in for you. And you can be searching for the positive aspect coming in. This card is also brings in the arts in some way, appreciation of the arts, or you getting involved in the arts in some way, or just enjoying activities with your friends or with a group where the arts are indicated. Also, this card may bring in aspects of fashion, beauty, perfumes, cosmetics, anything like that. So this is beautifying or beautiful fabrics. Anything like that is highly appreciated in this with this card. So this could be some kind of aspect you're joining others with, some kind of group activity or with friends. Or it could be a hobby or an interest of yours that you're now starting to harness. Then in the 12th house, we have void of course, moon missing. So the 12th house is your unconscious self, your unconscious motivations and drives. It's also the house of where you go to retreat, where you go to withdraw and to reflect. So this is the house of your spiritual life. So your meditation, your healing, and your belief systems, what you personally hold dear in your heart and in yourself. It's also the house of mysticism, as I said, healing of all kinds. It's the house of service to others in whatever sphere that works for you. Generally, it's a healing house, or you can find that people that work in the caring professions have a 12th house, very strong 12th house. So it's service to others. It can also be about escapism, where we go to escape or just to get away from things. Sometimes you can go too much and then you start going into drugs and addictions of all kinds. So there's a fine line there. This house is also about karmic lessons coming in. So with void of course, moon missing coming in, I feel that this is a time for you with all the action that's going on in your chart and all the things that you're trying to bring in and what you're formulating and these opportunities that are coming to you. I feel that this is saying to you, just at the moment or for a period of about a week or so, you perhaps just need to withdraw slightly, to rest, to dream, to plan. So there might be a slight disconnect, which you are required to do just to formulate for yourself, to go within, and to just to balance your energies at this time. During that period, it's not a time for acting on new things or initiating new things. It's a time of reflection, because during that period, if you try to launch something new or if you try to take action on something that you want to initiate, you may not get the result you want. You might get a wrong result or a mixed result, or something goes wrong, or there's a delay, or there's frustrations coming in, and it just doesn't work, basically. So it's inconclusive results, if you want to say that as well. The conditions are not favorable to launch that action at this time. There could be a delay. So this, as I said, can take place over about a week or so. So you can test the energy, see how you feel. But I do feel that this is a time just to reflect, to go inward, to actually dream and rest and plan a little bit, to bring in, to harness all these other things going on. I mean, you may need to do that before you start initiating, because the rest of your chart is very much about initiating. So possibly do that and to set the foundation before these other aspects come in for you at this time. Okay, Capricorn, I hope you have a wonderful month. It looks like it's going to be awesome for you, and I wish you the very best. Take care, and I will see you next time.